What's going on, guys? It is finally time for the first episode of my NHL 24 franchise mode series. Super excited to be using the Chicago Blackhawks here, trying to rebuild this team around generational prospect Connor Bedard. I feel like we're in a pretty good spot here, building around the best prospects since McDavid. Our GM name here is simply going to be Bedsy. Obviously, I expect him to be the star here of this series. So, look at the Chicago Blackhawks, guys. Top players there. You got Seth Jones, Taylor Hall, and of course, Connor Bedard. I feel like that's a pretty good nucleus. Will Jones and Hall be a part of this team? We're actually competing for a Stanley Cup. I'm not sure. I'm a huge Taylor Hall fan, being from Windsor. He won his back-to-back Memorial Cup, so I'd actually love to get him his first ever Stanley Cup. Obviously, you'll have to wait and see whether or not it's possible. Also, I'll show you guys the ratings for all these teams. We're new game here, so I'm sure a lot of you guys are curious. In the Pacific there, it looks like Vegas Golden Knights the highest rated, and then San Jose and the Ducks are tied for last. In the Central, we're the worst rated team, which you kind of expect. The Avs, they're the best. The Atlantic's pretty stacked. Like, the worst team is Montreal, 87. The best is Tampa, Boston, both 91s. Most of the teams are like 89 or 90. The Metro, New York's a 93. G's. And then the worst team, no surprise, Philly there at 86. And now, as always, guys, for this series, I'm going to have owner mode turned off. I simply just don't care what the hot dog price is. Salary cap, though, will be turned on. I'm also going to have player morale off. I'm not a huge fan of it. Computer trades, though, of course, will be on as well. And now, in terms of the settings here, guys, injuries off. I just can't be bothered editing my line constantly. Period length, 20 minutes. Authentic cap penalties there are on. Franchise mode length 25. I'll actually have it ending at 10 though. Computer trades on, as I mentioned. Superstar difficulty. Draft pick ownership authentic. Trade difficulty there set to hard. I want it to be a challenge here. Waivers are on. And now in the advanced settings here, guys, I actually mentioned this a couple days ago, but the default now has Simmons and scoring set to medium with shot frequency set to high, which is always what I use. So pretty cool to see that. I think I'm going to have both draft class quality and prospect quality set to low, as that way the league doesn't get diluted with talent as quickly. I think it's more realistic. The last thing I actually have to do here, guys, is set the attribute effects to 9 out of 10. This basically means a good team has a better chance of swimming well, bad team has a better chance of swimming bad. Also, you guys, I should mention, if you're wondering why I didn't have this video out yesterday, I was actually working on my first custom roster. Obviously, couldn't do a ton of stuff, but wanted to get the roster in a better spot before I started this series. I've actually already got that uploaded. You guys can go and download it if you want. TacTixHD Custom Roster 1. Right here, you guys can see some of the prospects I added. Basically, I made sure anyone drafted in the top 10 in the last 3 years or projected to go top 10 this year is in the game, as obviously they're going to have the most impact. If it's like, a third or fourth round pick, they don't really matter as much. And with that too, guys, I pretty much made every single change I mentioned in my ratings review videos. I'm sure you guys will notice a bunch of the changes throughout this series. So we're in the franchise now, guys. I'll show you what this team is looking like to start. Obviously, nowhere near competing for a Stanley Cup, because after the first line, there's pretty much nothing. So that first line's actually not terrible. You got Taylor Hall now on the team, playing with Connor Bedard and Athanasiou. Bedard here I've actually upgraded to an 84 with high franchise potential. Also, too, I gave him the shock and awe zone ability. I feel like that's what he's known for. We'll just get it out of the way, give it to him right now. So, hopefully everyone agrees with that. I think most people will, but can't wait to see just how he kind of grows in this franchise. Again, 84 high franchise 18. This guy's going to be an absolute beast. Playing with a couple decent wingers. Even the second line there, Radish, Reichel, Johnson's not too terrible. Third line there is also okay. And the fourth line's a pretty decent fourth line. I guess it's like the second and third line, which really aren't up to snuff. In terms of the defense, though, it's even worse. So we got Seth Jones, who's pretty solid. Murphy's a solid, defensive defenseman that can play in your top 4. After that, though, I mean, we do get +2 luckily in that second pairing to Nordy, Roos. I will say Roos should have better potential than medium 7th D, but it's one of those guys I just missed. Could only, do so much here and get the franchise started. Mrazek there, 81. Soderblom backing up an 80. Again, not looking the best. Now, one thing I actually want to do, guys, is go and check out free agency. As I mentioned, I did fix it, but there are still some players available. The top player, of course, would be Patrick Kane. In real life, I don't think there's any chance of him returning to Chicago. Watch him, do it now that I said it. But because of that, I'm going to stay away. As you can see, I lowered him there to 86 overall. Guarded the zone ability, but he's still like a pretty nasty player. Very curious to see actually who he's going to sign with. Below him there, Shane Pinto's an RFA. Same with Jamie Drysdale. Noah Gregor there, that shows an RFA, but he's really just on a PTO with the Leafs. Phil Kessel here is actually the highest rated free agent that's not Patrick Kane. I figured, Phil Kessel would be kind of fun there to leave at 80. I want to kind of keep his Iron Man streak going. He's got the injury X factor there. Could sign Kessel just for fun if we wanted to. Comtois there, I think, has a PTO with Vegas. Jesse Puljujarvi is also available. Only 79 overall, but he's got lowly potential. A couple years left to grow. Could potentially be like a low 80 for us, playing our bottom 6, even actually when we're competing for a cup. Now, as I mentioned, guys, I didn't really think our forwards were that bad. Defensively, though, we were so weak. Could sign Alex Edler. Honestly, it might make sense for us to do that. As I mentioned, just terrible defense. Hayek there, I think, is also on a PTO with somebody. So we got 42 contracts. Edler, if he plays, somewhat decently, let's see if we get him for league min. Could even make an offer sheet on Drysdale. The thing is, at the asking price, probably going to cost us, first round pick, which could potentially be Macklin Celebrini. 1 year, 800K. Okay. I would definitely be willing to go up like a 3rd round pick for Drysdale. I'm sure the Ducks will match whatever that is, but we might as well try. So yeah, 1.9 million 1 year. If he does say yes, again, I'm sure the Ducks match. In terms of the goalies, guys, you can see Brian Elliott, Yaroslav Alak, the 2 highest rated. But like I mentioned, I think Phil Kessel, keeping his Ironman streak alive, would be fun to do that. So I'll make him an offer, 950K on a 1 year. Puljujarvi's 25, low league potential. I wouldn't mind getting him on 2. He wants 1.2 million. I'll do 2 years, 1.1. I mean, we have the salary cap space. I'd be willing to do 2 years, 1.1 on Puljujarvi. Hopefully, he'll at least get to an 80. And check this out, guys. I was just looking at our coaching staff. We have an A head coach, so honestly, we might sim better than we should just because we have such a good head coach. A lot of times in the sim, a good coach will actually take a bad team, make them competitive. Also, you guys are curious with the captaincy. It's actually, I think, true to real life, so no captain yet. Foligno there, Murphy, and Jones all ranking A's. I think after this season, Foligno will probably retire. If not, I don't really plan on bringing him back, but I do plan on giving Bedard the C. I think potentially making him the youngest captain in NHL history, so stay tuned for that. Wow, look at this, guys. Drysdale actually accepted that cheap offer. I'm doing the Ducks a favor, I feel, although if he grows a ton this season, they have to pay him even more, so maybe not. Puljujarvi there accepted, currently in the AHL. Edler there too, we'll call him up, same with Phil Kessel, so a few nice free agent signings again. We'll let somebody else get Patty Kane. I think that's still pretty fair. Us getting those guys that aren't too crazy. Donato currently over 2 points a game in the preseason. All right, guys, here's an update look at the lines after those free agent signings. No change to the top 6. I feel like it looks solid. Third line, though, is now Phil Kessel, Ryan Donato, Jesse Puljujarvi. I feel like Puljujarvi with that low league potential, he needs to be getting NHL minutes to potentially actually hit that spike in growth. And then Kessel, of course, like I mentioned, I want to keep that Ironman streak alive. I think that'd just be fun. Fourth line there is now Perry, Dickinson, Foligno. Defensively here, we got Edler on that second pair with Zaitsev. And they're actually getting a +2 chemistry boost there, obviously being 79. A big upgrade there on Kaiser's, only a 75. You guys can see the AHLD there. Isn't terrible. In terms of the forwards, you got Kachuk, Kershaw is sent down. Same with Blackwell. I feel like, maybe they'll help out the AHL team do something. I don't really see them winning a Calder Cup, but you never know. Jackson Stauber here, 74 overall, medium starter. He's already 24, though, so probably not going to turn anything, but you never know. Also, too, guys, I should mention, regardless of the special teams, I honestly didn't even bother, switching it up because I don't really want to be good this year, so it doesn't really make sense for me to, spend time trying to optimize the power play or whatever when I'm actually hoping the team doesn't sim too well. And speaking of the team, guys, I showed you the trade value for all of our different assets. Obviously, Connor Bedard, number 1, max value there, 84 high franchise. Right behind him, though, Kevin Korchinski, currently in juniors. Jones, Hall, Murphy, Reichel, Frank Nazar, Oliver Moore. I obviously showed you guys earlier I added. Currently unsigned. I'll probably just leave them like that to let them just kind of play in, whatever Euro League they're currently in. Obviously, I had to do that just to make sure we could have their rights without actually having a contract signed. Draft pick-wise, our first-round pick's probably going to go up in rating even more. We have a Lightning first-round pick. This, of course, coming from the Brandon Hagel trade. We got 3 seconds there, a couple thirds. We're in a pretty good spot here. And right now, guys, through 6 preseason games, Ryan Donato is actually our leading scorer with 9 points. He's got 7 goals, averaging over a goal per game. We're also 5-0-1, so we haven't even lost a game in regulation yet. Take a look at the ratings here to start the franchise series. So right there, you guys can see Connor Bedard is a Chicago Blackhawk, rocket number 98. We've got 87 offense, 86 defense, 80 goaltending. I'm excited to see what happens this year. Hopefully, Bedard can take home the Calder Trophy. And real quick, too, guys, before we start the sim, if you wouldn't mind leaving a thumbs up on this video, it really helps me out. Also, too, guys, I always get questions about how I set up my scouts. No change from last year, so I make sure to have 1 in all the European countries, 2 in both Liga and SHL, because there's just more players there. You can see Extra Liga, National League, Dell all get 1. USA East, Central, West get 2, and then each CHL league also gets 2. I make sure every single one of them is A+ in their specific region. Our first trade offer, guys, of NHL 24, Kubalik, a 4th and a 7th for a 2nd. We're a rebuilding team, actually more of a tanking team, so obviously saying no to that. All right, guys, so it's now the end of December here. We have a record of 13, 16, and 6. We're currently second last in division. The Coyotes actually have 1 less point than us, so we got to start tanking a little bit harder. Sharks and the Kings surprisingly below us. I don't know. I thought the Kings were pretty stacked, maybe just because they don't have the greatest goaltending. And the only team below us in the East there is the Flyers, which probably could have predicted. Our current leading scorer here is actually Seth Jones, 33 points, only has 3 goals. I was really hoping that would have been Bedard. AHL-wise, Kachuk there, about a point per game. AHL team, actually first place in their division, all right. Also, you guys, I just remembered I should do some contract extensions right now before guys start producing more. Killer Radish, 82 overall, 2.5 for 2 years. That's pretty fair. Honestly, we could potentially get him for 2.6 for the next 5 till he's 30. Feel like that'd be a fine contract. Now, below him, Lucas Reichel, I'm actually more concerned about. Currently an 80, but obviously going to grow a lot more. $3 million there for 2 years. 4 years, 3.6. I feel like, okay, it gets up to about $5 million. Let's take him right till he's still an RFA, 4 years. That way we kind of have control. We'll offer I don't know, 3.3. Hopefully he says yes. And again, even for like, you know, cap strapped, can at least get some picks back for him as we have his rights. Now, Ryder still accepted our offer, which is nice to see. Same with Reichel. All right, guys, we're at the trade deadline now with a record of 24, 30, and 9. We're currently second last in the NHL. The only team below us in the standings is actually the Sharks with 47 points. They're doing pretty terrible. Real life, I think they're going to be a pretty bad team as well. Seth Jones, still our leading scorer, AHL-wise. It is Khrushchev now, 44 points. AHL team there, second in their division. So we'll get to the trade deadline. Obviously looking to trade away some guys. Honestly, Phil Kessel I might keep because I want to make sure, you know, he keeps that streak going as long as he can. Clearly, we're a full-on seller. We'll see kind of what's available here. Looking to add picks and prospects. If we could trade away, say, Foligno, Perry, Couture's on the block, which makes sense. Brodin and Spurgeon. Minnesota, remember, they don't sim well. Always have those guys on the block. Uyghur, Lindholm, that's interesting. Jeremy Swayman. I mean, we don't really have a very good goalie prospect right now. Real life, they have Komiso, but I didn't have time to add everybody. So we could make a move for him, honestly, goalie of the future. Patty Kane signed the Flyers. Interesting. Apparently, they're not doing too well if he's on the block with Couturier. Zuccarello there, Hannafin, and Duclair. Okay, so I'm kind of interested in Swayman here. I mean, at that point, we're really starting to compete already next season, I guess, with a good goalie. But honestly, our best chance when it comes is probably year 3 when Bedard's grown a bunch and he's still on an entry-level deal. So this could make sense for us. And you know what, guys? I was just thinking, if we want to make this trade for Swayman, we should definitely wait till the summer. That way our team can continue to tank for the rest of the season. Otherwise, Swayman might actually win us a few games, which could hurt us in terms of our first overall pick chances. So I'm going to wait on this one, but definitely, you know, want to think about it in the future. Now, I'm actually trying to make a direct trade with Boston, guys, to get Fabian Lysell on the block. He usually is for them, but as you can see, 21.77. He's a solid player. Like, he's got 48 points right now in the AHL, which is really good. Offering up Tyler Johnson, expiring deal. Give him a chance to play some playoff hockey there with the Bruins. Pretty equal value. I think it's actually been on their side, but Lysell's on the block. They want Johnson. I think they say yes. There we go. Trade's accepted. Solid move for us. I'll be shocked if this next trade goes through, guys. I'm trying to get Joel Hofer here from the St. Louis Blues. Obviously, he's a good young goalie. It doesn't really look like he's got enough value considering the fact he's got high starter potential. I mean, goalies obviously usually have less, but like that does not seem nearly enough. So trying to flip the Mrazek here, who is higher rated, but obviously older. Retaining 50% of his contract for the rest of the season. Also adding a 5th round pick there we got from Calgary. See what the Blues say. The value is on our side. Trades accepted. Okay, I don't think high starter goalies have enough value. The reason I actually went after Hofer was because I seen Garnson's value there, which actually might be higher than Hofer's because he's younger. And now I'm curious about Dustin Wolf. Okay, Dustin Wolf with medium elite does actually have a decent amount, but yeah, high starter, I feel that's like the goalies to trade for sure. Next year, guys, we're trying to make a trade the Wild, offering up Donato for a 4th round pick. He signed for 1 more year at $2 million, 27. I feel like he's easily replaceable in free agency. Might as well try and get a mid-round pick for him. They say yes. Also, too, does help us play a little bit worse, I think, for the last month and a half. Trade him away. So I feel like those are probably all the trades you're going to make, guys. Nick Foligno, Corey Perry, for instance, have like 0 value, so can't really trade them. And then you got like Hall, Athanasiou. I'd actually like to keep for now. Reichel, of course, part of that future core. You guys can see here, too, Bedard's now 88 overall. I was looking as well as our draft picks. I didn't realize we have 2 firsts 2025, ours and Toronto's. We also have 3 seconds 2026. Like, this team's future is set up there in terms of the picks. Prospect-wise, we could definitely use a few extra players. Buffalo there, I guess Ty Smith from the Penguins, kind of funny. I did lower his rating like 75 or something. Our trade with Donato, let's see. Montreal there, got a 1st round pick for 2/3 and Wideman. That is a steal by Montreal, even if it's a late 1st. John Beecher there, going to the LA Kings for David Riddick. Ryan Hartman there goes to Nashville. Let's see, our trade for Hofer. Jake Wallman goes to the Leafs. Red Wings got a 1st round pick for him, not bad. Marcus Johansson, the Vegas Golden Knights for Brisson and Korschak. Good work by Minnesota. Gostisbehere there goes to Edmonton for a 1st and a 2nd. They also get Oli Mata, but still a pretty good trade by Iceman. Fleecing Holland. Let's see, Foodie there to Coyotes. Pittsburgh gets Sean Monahan. Montreal gets Lars Eller. Roslovich there to Boston for Jeremy Swayman. Interesting. Columbus gets their goalie of the future. Not a bad move. Tampa Bay gets Tyson Barrie for Nick Paul, a 3rd and a 6th. That is a steal, I think. Patty Kane on the move to the Winnipeg Jets with Scott Lawton. And the Flyers get back a 1st, Knyzev, and Johansson. I mean, I don't know. The other team traded 2/3 and a random for a 1st round pick. The Jets give up a 1st and 2 okay prospects for Patty Kane and Scott Lawton. That's nuts. Semyon Varlamov there got moved to LA Kings with Tristan Lennox for Arvidsson and Trevor Lewis. Some pretty big trades getting made. Marc-Andre Fleury, the Buffalo Sabres, Matt Dumba, and Travis Dermott to the Devils with Ryan Dzingel. Coyotes got back a 1st. Duclair there to the Preds. In exchange for Ryan McDonough, 1-for-1. Interesting. So I guess Nashville wanted offense. Obviously the Sharks are not competing, so I'm not really sure why they made the trade, but they probably could use the defense, honestly. So after those moves at the trade deadline, guys, here's an updated look at the team. Bedard, as I mentioned, now 88 overall. He's also actually grown a couple X factors. In my franchise mode features video, I mentioned how it's a thing now. As you can see, he actually gained Spinorama and Born Leader, so a couple I honestly didn't expect him to get. Spinorama was kind of cool, though. It's pretty unique. Born Leader as well, I think, goes with him getting the C at the start of next season. It's like they almost knew. I also just realized I forgot to bump up his face-off stat. I feel like he should have at least an 80 because he's actually been doing pretty well for a rookie in the face-off circle. Behind them, Kessel, Reichel, Radish isn't that bad. Even the bottom six, I think, is decent. Defensively, actually, there is no change. Of course, goalie, hopefully they're backing up Soderblom. And then the AHL, I think the only change is Lysell on that first line. So hopefully the AHL team continues to do well, even though we did, call it Blackwell. And obviously, more importantly, hopefully the NHL team can start to lose some more games. And now this is great, guys. After the trade deadline, the team has started to start playing better. We're actually 500 now with one game left. Let's see. Did we finish below or above? We finished below 500. 81 points there. So if we would have actually lost a bunch of games, would have had a better shot at picking, top 5. I don't know why. The team actually started to play better after we trade away, guys. AHL team here, 41, 21, and 7, first place in the division. That is good to see. Hopefully they can make a run here at the Calder Cup. Kachuk there, 59, 69. Not bad at all. In the NHL, Seth Jones actually finished our leading scorer with 68 points. Curious to see what kind of numbers Bedard put up. So he had 66. I feel like that's pretty solid. I'm pretty sure his over-under this year is literally like 65. So he's been pretty close to real life. 274 shots. He was just taking shots from everywhere. Taylor Radish had a 50-point season with 54. Anthony C, exact same number. Lucas Reichel also 50-point season. Same with Kessel and Hall. So I mean, the fact we had 7 guys on this team put up 50-plus points is actually a pretty promising sign. Nick Foligno there at 30. Same with Perry. Obviously, probably not going to bring them back, but that's actually not even that bad production from a fourth-line player. Goaltending here, Soderblom, 40 games played, 916, 285 with 4 shutouts. He might be the reason why we didn't finish lower in the standing. Now, AHL team here, Stauber, 6 shutouts, a 9-1, 262. Kachuk there at 59. Same with Lysell. We did get to play an extra 4 games due to the trade that happened. And now taking a look at the entire league here, guys. Johnny Gaudreau put up 110 points. Matthews 109. Scheifele 106. McDavid 104. Marner 101. Kyle Connor was also at 100. Panarin, Patty Kane at 95. Even as an 86, he's still an absolute god in the sim. No zone ability either. I've also decreased all of his stats. That is crazy to see. Ovechkin there, 94. Looks like Matthews though. Actually, no, McDavid. Sorry, taking on Maurice Richard. And in terms of defensive scoring here, guys, Josh Morrissey actually finishing first. McAvoy there, Carlson. Most of these names all make sense. And in terms of goaltenders, Ilya Samsonov had the most wins, 43. And now best save percentage for a starter goes to Bobrovsky, 916. Goals against here, Georgiev, 265. Probably one of those two guys wins the Vezina. In terms of rookie skaters, come on, Bedard. Carlson, 67. I mean, Bedard at a +4. If it's like last year, they really care about that plus-minus. Bedard 1 less points with a +5 better differential. I think he'll take on the Calder, but that's very close. Leo Carlson, are you kidding me? 80 overall. He popped off with the Ducks. Logan Cooley there, 56 with the Coyotes. Fantilli was also 50+. After that, no one really did anything. And so now in terms of the entire league, guys, the Maple Leafs there won the President's Trophy with 107 points. You had 7 teams with 100+. I'm trying to think of big surprises. Washington in 8th, kind of crazy. The Ducks in 13th. That is really... Arizona 14th. Are you kidding me? Both of those teams making the playoffs. That's nuts. Vegas squeaks in at 18. All these teams that missed, none of them I'd say are playoff locks. Probably the biggest ones, the LA Kings. How did they do that bad? 78 points. We actually finished 24th in the league there, 81. You can see, guys, if we just lost 2 more games, we're literally tied for a bottom 5 team with the Flyers. That's just terrible to see, but you never know. Maybe we'll get lucky with the draft lottery. I really doubt it, though. But first here, guys, we actually have to sim through the AHL playoffs. Fabian Lysell is our leading scorer now. They actually had a couple games left, so we'll see how this goes. Obviously, AHL, I'm not too concerned with if they win or lose, but a Calder Cup in our first year would be a nice little feather in our cap. We'll see what happens here. Win the first game and the second. Come on, there we go. So beat Milwaukee there in 3. They actually have it as a 5-game series now in round 1, because I think that was an issue last year. We got the Grand Prix Griffins round 2. It's also a 5-game series. I think that's true in real life. Unfortunately, we actually lose all 3 games to the Griffins, but still, round 2 of the AHL playoffs. I'll take that in the first season. And this is kind of crazy, guys. After losing both Bergeron and Krejci to retirement, the Boston Bruins win the Stanley Cup. Are you kidding me? They lost Tyler Bertuzzi and Taylor Hall as well. That's crazy. I mean, I feel bad for Taylor Hall getting traded from the Stanley Cup winning team to us. Are you kidding me as well? Nashville jumps from 10 to 1. Are you kidding me? We were 9. If we actually were slightly better, we would have got first overall. That just hurts even more. Philly there actually jumps from 3 to 2, so the Sharks are picking at 3. Nashville gets Macklin Celebrini. And Philly there is actually picking at 2 and 6 via the Florida pick. I think they got that from the Claude Giroux trade. Luckily at 10, we should still be getting a medium elite player, but obviously, I'd prefer to have a top 5 pick. And so look at the playoff tree here, guys. The Boston Bruins beat the Lightning in 6, Hurricanes in 5, Penguins in 5, and then the Oilers there in 5. That's actually kind of funny. I predicted Oilers versus Bruins in the Stanley Cup final last year, so to see it happen first year in the sim, I mean, not terrible, I guess. Team awards there, I think we know all of those. Individual, Johnny Gaudreau, Art Ross. Scheifele, though, gets the Hearts. Josh Morrissey, James Norris, Patty Kane, Lady Bing with the Jets. There we go. Connor Bedard did win the Calder. Brad Marchand, Conn Smythe. I'm sure he had to pop off of that team. Yorgi got the Vezina, also got the William Jennings. Savard, Bill Masterton. Ducks coach Jack Adams. Crosby got the Selke, interesting. Scheifele, Ted Lindsay. And then McDavid there, Maurice Richard, back-to-back years. Now in the AHL, guys, the Bakersfield Condors won the Calder Cup. We did win something, though. We won our division, as you can see there. So, again, that's something for us. Adam Gaudette there, most points in the league, also MVP. McCarron, most goals. Bulldog, best rookie. Poirier, best defenseman. Silov's best goalie. Ernie, MVP of the playoffs. Stahl actually signed with Seattle, was playing their AHL team. He got sportsmanship. Kevin Ballack being involvement, and then Aaron Dell there was the best goalie. And now next year, you guys take a look at retired players. Probably no one crazy. Yeah, Eric Stahl. Simmons was in free agency for Leak and Anisimov. Jack Johnson. Bellemare, really not too much. And so we'll get to the draft now, guys. We'll see if they fix the issue where if a team like Nashville jumps from 10 to 1, they always have their pick on the block. Hopefully it's fixed. And it is fixed. Okay, their pick's not on the block. That is good to see. So take a look at the draft class here. It should be like pretty authentic to what people are predicting right now. So Celebrini 1, Yzerman 2, Demidov 3, Levshinov 4. You got Kat there at 5. Silyev 6, Kivharju at 7, Dickinson 8, Helenas 9, Muse 10. I mean, I feel like that's pretty good. Adams there, I believe, is made up. Tanner Houser at 11, Perek there, Emil Hemming, Massey, Liam Greentree. I feel like Cristoforo, Senek. This looks like a pretty authentic draft class. I'm actually pretty happy with how they turned out. So right now we'd be getting Henry Muse. Honestly, I think we need forwards and defense. We're just taking best player available. If we could move up a little bit, I think that'd be cool. Like, Silyev here's a 6'7 defenseman. He'd be fun to have on the team. Or Levshinov, just like an absolute beast. And I just realized, guys, Flyers are going to be walking away from this draft with, like, potentially Cole Yzerman and Levshinov. Like, that's insane. And now in terms of gems here, guys, they got Justin Poirier going early second round. I know he's medium top 6, so doesn't really help us too much. Potential-wise, it looks to be getting guaranteed medium leads going late. And now next year, guys, I'm trying to move up in the draft 2 spots from 10 to 8 with the Islanders. Their picks on the block. They've also got Maggio on the block here, too. If you guys don't know, he was captain of the Windsor Spitfires last year, which is my favorite OHL team. I've actually got season tickets with Thrash, so if we could get him, it'd be pretty sweet. I mean, 2 third-round picks here. I feel like the 1/3 is probably more than enough to move up the 2 spots. So then we add the second third there to sweeten the deal to get Maggio. They got the pick and Maggio on the block. We'll see if they say yes to this trade. Trade's rejected. Okay, quite far off. Honestly, we have so many second-round picks. Could throw in, like, our worst one within our worst third. I feel like this would still be a good trade for us. Trade's rejected. Now, they said we're only a bit far off, so I'm thinking let's throw in, like, a 7th-round pick, 2025 as well. And there we go. Okay, so we move up in the draft, and we get a solid prospect. As you guys can see, Celebrini there went first overall, 80 high elite. Yzerman number 2, 78 medium elite. I'm just kind of curious there. Yzerman actually grew a bunch of X factors during the draft because I think it only gave him Make It Snappy and Puck on a String. As you guys can see, you got a few others. Celebrini here. I'm pretty sure I gave All Alone and Ankle Breaker 2. I guess we didn't scout him, so we can't see it. But at this point, guys, I'm honestly pretty happy with whoever we get at 8, so I'm just going to sim to our pick. Kivharju just got taken 1 before us. That's unlucky. Silyev there at 6. So Flyers get him and Yzerman. Not bad. Levshinov actually went 3. Above Berkeley Catton at 4, and Demidov at 5. Demidov would have been kind of nasty, but honestly with Bedard, I think I'd rather have a playmaker. Now at this spot, we're looking at a defenseman, probably, I guess, Helenas is an option. Evgeny Malkin, similar style, interesting. NHL ETA there, 2 years. It's either him, and Dickinson, or Henry Muse. All 3 of these guys are immediately potential. I'm not really sure. Which way do we go here, guys? Now, I did just say I wanted a playmaker for Bedard. Helenas is a playmaker. I feel like we got to go with him. I don't think I ever took him last year, so trying something new. As you can see, 70 overall, medium elite out of the draft. Any X factors? None yet, but obviously you can grow some. And now next year, guys, I'm actually trying to move up 6 spots at the end of the first round to Vegas Golden Knights, offering up one of 3 4th-round picks we have in 2025. Vegas said no. Wow, I thought that was like a very fair offer. Honestly, like this draft didn't have a ton of depth in it after the first few rounds, so could just give him a third this year. Vegas says yes. Okay, so that was a good deal. I'll show you guys why. There's somebody I was eyeing. Hopefully can get them. So Massey was just taken. I was actually looking at taking Winter Spitfire, who is available. Anthony Cristoforo here. So we're getting a couple Spitfires in Maggio and him, which is kind of cool. And as you can see there, 65 medium top 4. Also, two guys after Helenus got picked, you can see Dickinson there at 9, 71 medium elite. I didn't know he was one overall higher, but still with Helenus there. Muse at 10. This Adams guy, I was right, was made up. 77 medium elite defenseman, 6'5". Could have taken him, but honestly, it's fine. And now I'm saving to pick 36 here, guys. There's a chance. I was going to say Justin Poirier is available. Unfortunately, he was just taken 2 picks early. That would have been such a good first 3 picks in this draft. At this point, I'm not even sure. Actually, Yakimachuk, I believe, is medium top 4. So if we want to just take him, add another solid defensive prospect, I feel like that makes sense, especially early second round. That's good value. Yeah, 63 medium top 4. Not bad at all. And now next year, guys, I'm trading back 30 spots with the Vegas Golden Knights, trying to pick up a 6th round pick. Really just know what I want at this spot, so might as well try and acquire some asset. Vegas there says yes. Hopefully at 6, we can just take a wild shot and hit on somebody. Now, pick 73 here, who I was looking at actually, is this American goalie. There's a chance he's medium elite. And actually, guys, look at this. Vinny's available. He's actually the #1 ranked player right now. Maybe he was meant to be. I don't even know what his potential is. I totally forgot to, check his out. We're going to find out here. And medium fringe starter. Oh my god, I gotta go upgrade that. That's a joke. So next year, guys, I'm offering the Vegas Golden Knights a 3rd round pick next year for their 3rd this year, plus a 7th. Basically, to try and get that American goalie. Honestly, I would just do it 1 for 1. There we go. I'm really thinking that this goalie I was eyeing is going to be medium elite. I could be wrong. It could end up not being worth it, but I've just got a feeling. So it's Eddie there. Hopefully, he's at least like a medium starter. And he is medium elite. Let's go. I had a feeling. Only 49 overall, but still, we take that in the 3rd round. That's a steal. Also, too, guys, in regards to the 1st round, not sure if I showed you guys the rest of it. After Adams there, you got Perek, Howe, Greentree, Hemming, Massey, Cristoforo, Sinek, Gormley, Chromiak, Korolev, Caswell, Ritchie, Bransteg, Nygaard, Jaracek, Ollie, Perry, Semenov, Misa, Baikov, Vasanin, and Hennessy, which I feel like at this point is a pretty accurate 1st round draft. Now in the 6th round, guys, we're just taking a chance on a couple guys. I'm going to go with Yuri Zykov here. Could be medium elite as well. Medium bottom 6. I mean, sometimes you hit, sometimes you don't. Last pick here, we're going to take a chance on that other guy who could be medium elite, and that's Vorobayev. Come on. And medium bottom 6 as well. I mean, honestly, I'm still pretty happy with this draft. The fact we got a medium elite forward, 2 medium top 4 defensemen, and then a medium elite goalie, cannot complain. Alright, guys, we're at the re-sign phase here. It's $42.5 million in cap space. That's unreal. Seth Jones is now a 90. He's also gained a few X factors. Very cool to see. Athanasiou is an 86. Taylor Radisher is 85. Sam Lucas Reichel. Glad to see we got both those guys. Very good contracts. Phil Kessel now an 83. I'd love to bring him back. I just think it's, a fun player to sign. $4 million he wants now for 2 years. That's a lot. Luckily for Phil, we have so much cap space to spend. I'll sign him for $4 million for 1 year. Have him play 3rd line right wing. Corey Perry, same with Foligno. They got to be the right price. 1.5 is not honestly terrible. Could have him as just a good 4th liner for that price. Zaitsev here, 80 overall. I can probably let go. Foligno's lower rated than Perry, but he wants more money. I'm guessing it's just because he's a little bit younger. I mean, they're both solid 4th liners. I'd offer him 1.5 for 1. Dickinson can let go at this point as well. Same with Edler. Puljujärvi here, his potential is dropped from low elite to low top 9. He could still be an okay bottom player. I'm just going to qualify him. As you guys can see, you can actually see the amount that you qualify for now, which is really nice. So Kachuk here, for instance, only 850k. Alex Vlasic, 2377 high top 6. We could get him signed 3 years for $1 million. That could be a steal. Now, Frank Nazar here needs signed, obviously. Former 1st round pick. We'll get him locked up. He's a 76 now. Oliver Morsel has 1 year left. Also, too, guys, we got to make sure we get this guy signed. Marcel, one of the best names in hockey. We'll get him 3 years there, league min. He can eventually become a player for us. That'd be so awesome. Now, in terms of the goalies, guys, we still have Soderblom and Hofer under contract. We're just trying to tank for Misa. I feel like that's definitely good enough. Stauber there. He was decent last year. Why not bring him back? Be the AHL starter. And then Vinny here, honestly, at this point, is already probably good enough to be the AHL backup. All right, guys, so Corey Perry's coming back to the team, which is good to see. Same with Nick Foligno with the 2 vets, much cheaper. Roos there could probably be a bomb pairing guy. Phillips there, Vlasic, both those guys should be in the AHL. Stauber wants more money. Kessel said yes as well. Same with Marcel. So I'm just going to qualify Stauber for now, and I feel like at that point we're actually pretty good. And as you guys can see, we got $36 million in cap space. Now, having said that, we kind of need at least 2, if not 4 NHL defensemen. Forward, we're not looking as bad, but still have to sign a few guys. And there we go, guys. The day before free agency, Stauber accepted the qualifying offers. So I'm very curious to see who's available because, as I mentioned, we got so much money to spend. Obviously, you have to spend it wisely, though. Patrick Kane we could bring back. Again, I'm just not sure if it's realistic for him to come back to Chicago, so I'm not going to bother signing him, who is actually back up to an 89, which is where EA had him, so that's kind of funny. Philip Peronic here wants $7 million RFA with the Canucks. I'm guessing they just can't afford him. Now, Gustav Forsling here is actually a pretty solid defenseman, not too old. He's 28. He might be a guy that makes sense to get. He's an offensive defenseman here. I feel like he could actually play pretty well top pair with Seth Jones. Then we just got to get somebody to play with Murphy on the second. So I feel like we got the money. 3-year deal till he's 31. Let's do 4 till he's 32. Price actually comes down quite a bit. Let's try $6 million for 4 years for him. JJ Moser here is available, 83 overall, but he's also an RFA. Honestly, I'm thinking Tyson Perry. Let's just get some guys. Are you kidding me? Was he scratched last year? Oh no, 18 games in Tampa Bay. Actually, wait a minute. Yeah, so Nashville didn't even play him. What the heck? That's interesting to see. I feel like if we bring him in, put him on a top power play, he'll definitely put up some points, playing Bedard. Then we can just flip him or something. 2 other teams interested. He wants 3 years, so he's 35. I'm thinking just put up... I mean, we could still trade him even if he's under contract. $6 million for 3 years. If he jumps a bunch in rating, definitely sell high on him. Also, Matthew Shane's available here, guys. Was always one of my favorite players. Last year, he had 56 points with the Stars. He's actually gained the Wheels X Factor there. Pretty cheap price, 4.5 for 84. Make him a 1-year deal, maybe playing with Taylor Hall. Potentially on the first line, Bedard. Stevie says yes to a 2-year, 4.75. Now this is a weird one, guys. Tarasenko dropped in rating from 86 to an 84 after putting up 63 points. I do not understand that. Now take a look at goalies here, guys, as well, out of curiosity. Samsonov is number 1, 86 overall. Fleury is available too. Again, I don't really see us competing for a cup this year, so might as well try and get another high draft pick before going for it in Bedard's final year on his ELC. And now in terms of potential here, nothing too crazy, like Andu in there, 24.78. Rodriguez, this Quap guy, 21.61, medium starter. Honestly, he might be worth signing. I think we have the goalie spot, so might as well, yeah. Also, Max Domi here, guys. I know he enjoyed his time in Chicago. Maybe we could bring him back. He only wants 1 year, or actually, sorry, he wants 3 years, $3 million. Oh, man, I really don't like these 3-year deals. I would do probably a 1 year, because we got Nazar coming up. We got more coming up. I would offer more money, though, because we have so much right now. I'd do $4 million for 1 year. I feel like he'd say yes. And look at this, guys. I'm checking two-way skaters. Jack Drury's available. 24.78, medium top 9. Great face-offs. I don't know why Carolina didn't sign him. If we can get him under contract, 2 years, under $1 million, even if he's just in the AHL, eventually I think he'd be in our bottom 6. We'll check potentials too, because obviously let go of a bunch of AHL players that just weren't cutting it. Jan Jenik here, 23.77 is not too bad. If we can get him for 3 years, under $1 million as well. Same goes for Raphael Lavoie, who's on the Oilers. Not sure why. I mean, obviously these guys aren't amazing players. They're guys you could definitely see, you know, going through waivers. But I'm sure there's worse players they are signing. Iskakov here has some nasty hands, so I'll sign him for that reason. Alright, guys, so like goalie Quap accepted our offer. Again, he'll just be like 3rd string AHL, but has decent potential. And Matthew Shane said yes, that's big. Tyson Barrie appreciates the interest. He went to Montreal Canadiens. Honestly, they could use a player like him. Their defense is pretty rough. Max Domi coming back to Chicago. Jenik there went to the Pittsburgh Penguins. So kind of cool to see, like, not everyone made offers on saying yes. Jack Drury, though, did. Forsling with the Ducks. I thought I made both him and Barrie pretty fair offers, but maybe it's because we're not a great team. Lavoie said yes. Iskakov as well. Now, we still have $29 million in cap space. I think the cap floor minimum's like $20 million below the max, so we got to spend $9 million still. Could go and get Blake Wheeler. I don't know if that makes sense, though. Giordano could add a veteran to this team, 40 years old. Kind of like Foligno Perry, same idea. We need defensemen. Like, we need bodies. 1 year. I'll give him $5 million. Come in. Play for us. Maybe we trade with the deadline, 50%. Also gonna make an offer on Schultz here, guys. As mentioned, we need somebody to, like, quarterback that second power play. Seth Jones can do the first one. I'm assuming, too, like, Korchinski won't be high enough rated. 1 year, $5 million. Hopefully that gets it done. Could still sign a couple more defensemen as well. Otherwise, we think we'd have like 277s. I feel like Shattenkirk and Ian Cole for their price are pretty good options, both 82s. Again, if we're playing well, then like cool, but if not, should be pretty easy to trade these guys. We're gonna offer them each 2.5, and only for 1 year, of course. Montreal just offered us Matheson in a 3rd for 2 seconds. Definitely not gonna give up picks for him, that's for sure. LA here offering us Gavrikov in a 4th for 2 seconds. Everybody knows we need defense, but there's still some guys available for agency, and we just signed one, Kevin Shattenkirk, Giordano, that's even bigger, Ian Cole, and Justin Schultz. Okay, so we actually have 6 NHL defensemen now, which is nice to see. This is kind of funny, guys. The Flyers are trying to dump $11 million on us for 2 second-round picks and Pesce and Ristolainen. Pesce's actually worth the 6.5. Ristolainen, though, definitely isn't. And so we're now to start next season, guys. Usually I skip over this screen, but I'm citing our captains. That way I can have the youngest captain ever in Connor Bedard. They got Nick Foligno wearing the C. Yeah, nope. Connor Bedard, youngest captain in NHL history. Let's go. Alright, guys, so my lines are set for next season. I think there's a small chance we can make the playoffs. Probably doesn't happen, but honestly, the roster isn't that terrible. So first line you can see is Hall, Bedard, and Reichel. Reichel's down to 85. If he's playing on that top line, I think he could grow even more. Obviously, got him on a great contract, so I love that for us. Second line there, Radish, Duchesne, Athanasiou, Kessel, Domi, Puljujärvi on the third. Perry, Drury, Foligno on the fourth. I think it's a very solid fourth line. Defensively here, we got Giordano, Jones on the top pair. Murphy, Schultz second. Cole, Shattenkirk on the bottom. They get a -3. No matter where I put Cole, aside from trading Murphy or Jones, we're going to have -3, so just kind of have to live with it. In terms of the goalies, Joel Hofer's down 83, which is really nice to see. We definitely fleeced St. Louis in that trade. Stodwell there backing him up. Now in terms of the AHL team, guys, we got Stauber starting with Quap there backing him up. In terms of the forwards, we got Lysell on the first line playing with Khrushchev and Whistle. Maggio's on the second there with Nazar and Hayes. Kind of a young guns line, 20-20-21. Lavoie, Iskakov, Kachuk, Doc, Ludwinski, Sternborg. Defensively here, we got Vlasic, Korchinski. He's a 78, already has 92 passing. So I feel like by next season, he'll be in the NHL for us. Second pairing there, Phillips, Roos. Bottom pairs, Allen and Kaiser. So honestly, I think both teams are looking pretty solid. Obviously, really not a rush at all in terms of this rebuild. So I feel like slow and steady here is going to work for us. Now, before we end the video, guys, I'll show you our ratings for next season. As you can see here, we've got 92 offense, 91 defense, and 82 goaltending. So the team's definitely gotten a lot better. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the first episode of Chicago Blackhawks franchise mode series for NHL 24. If you did, leave that thumbs up. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, hit the sub button down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.